This is my forearms exercise tier list. Let me show you how to get big, juicy forearms. Before we get into the exercises, I need to mention one very important thing that will influence how I rate them. I won't be ranking exercises like deadlifts and rows very high, because their main purpose isn't to train forearms, but to train your back. And whenever I hear someone say, "You'll get big forearms if you just don't use straps," I can't help but facepalm. Yes, that statement is partially true, but the problem is you're sabotaging your back training. For example, if you're doing rows and your grip fails before your back does, you're literally screwing yourself over and for what? To train forearms? That just doesn't make sense. You're trying to grow your back, so stop putting forearms into the mix. You'll be surprised how much better your back workouts become when you're not limited by your grip. If you want to train forearms, do it directly with isolation exercises that I'll show you later. The secret to getting big forearms is using isolation exercises that aren't too taxing. That's why you shouldn't be doing deadlifts for your forearms. They'll wreck you and give you almost zero gains in return. But when you use direct isolation work that doesn't tire your whole body, you can train forearms nearly every day. And since forearms recover fast, that's exactly how you should be training them. All right, I got a bit sidetracked. Let's finally start with the exercises. So, for the reasons I just mentioned, I'm putting deadlifts and rows in the D tier. Now, let's talk about all the wrist curl variations. But before we do, keep in mind, always pick the variation that feels the most comfortable to you, regardless of how I rank it. There's no point doing something that feels awkward or causes discomfort. That said, the first variation is the classic wrist curl. In my opinion, this is the best wrist curl variation. You can do it with a barbell, dumbbell, or even cables. The most important thing for this and all other wrist curl variations is don't ego lift. You want to be gentle with these exercises. In this case, less is more. Focus on full range of motion with light weight, instead of trying to impress your alter ego. The classic wrist curl goes in S tier. Next is the wrist extension. The difference between a wrist curl and a wrist extension is the position of your palms. In curls, your palms face upward. In extensions, they face down. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the wrist extension, but it can still be useful. I'll put it in B tier. Then we have the behind the back wrist curl. In my opinion, this is the worst version, mainly due to the limited range of motion and how awkward it can feel. But again, these variations are about personal preference, so don't be discouraged from trying one just because I ranked it lower. Behind the back wrist curl goes in C tier. Next up, grippers. I use them a lot, and the best part is you don't have to be in the gym to use them. While not perfect, the convenience is a huge bonus. Grippers go in A tier. Then we have the dead hang. This one's great for your forearms and for decompressing your spine. If you haven't tried dead hangs before, I highly recommend them. They go in A tier. Now, the Zotman curl. If you followed this channel, you know how I feel about exercises that try to combine too many things into one. Honestly, I just don't see why you'd choose this over other options. Zotman curl goes in C tier. Finally, we've got the wrist roller. This one's awesome. Just remember not to extend your arms straight out while doing it. That's not the right form. For some reason, every photo online shows it that way, but it's wrong. Keep your arms in close, and that's the proper way. When done correctly, the wrist roller is one of the best forearm exercises. S tier. That wraps up my forearm exercise tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you want effective, simple training plans using all these S tier exercises, check out my website. Links in the description. Big thanks to all my Patreon supporters. And if you like this video, I guarantee you'll love this one too.